So what we're going to do is create a series of really short videos that are designed to do three things. One, create a general sense of awareness about like what have we talked about, like what is this project. Two, be able to give a sense of how do we understand exactly what we've been talking about, how is it sort of played out in our dialogues. And then finally, what does the engagement piece look like as far as filling out what is ultimately our goal, making sure that we can kind of fill out a form that really speaks to your plan.
So when we're looking at the definition of project-based learning, we're really looking at a teaching method in which learners gain specific knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time, right? To investigate and respond to an authentic, engaging, and complex question or problem or challenge. All right, so we're gonna go through Buck Institute's framework. So Buck Institute really breaks this down into 7 design elements.
One of the things that it's really important for us to do is to begin to connect the dots. And we want to connect the dots by actually giving you something that we kind of use as a working way of thinking out my program and my activities. And we call them these 4 C's. And the 4 C's simply are characteristics. And characteristics are just simply things that we can see. If a characteristic is present, I can see it with my eye. Now, to get to a characteristic, you must have a component. And a component really simply is a system or a structure that will make that characteristic visible. In order for you to have components and characteristics, you have to have something that we call characters. And characters in this sense really are roles. The person that is making whatever is to happen, happen. Like it's their job, it's their role to make this occur. Right? So here's the sign-in sheet right here. But if I put the sign-in sheet right here, does anybody get the sign in? No. What makes the sign-in sheet get signed in is when it's a person whose job it is and assure that every person in the room has signed in. That's the character that is associated with a component of signing in that is visible in the end. If I didn't have attendance, we'd call that a challenge. That would require a course correction. When something happens, you're really clear about how you change to make sure that everybody and everything that you want to have happen, happens. Our sites have to be what we call site visit ready by making sure that we've got characteristics, components, and characters that are going to bring home what we're looking for. We're going to do an activity that is called the tallest tower.
But your goal in your teams is to build a structure that is 5 feet high and 1 foot wide at the base. And the structure must represent some aspect of DYCD's mission and vision. Project roles. So once you land in your team, you're going to have to select one person to be the director. All right? One person will be the education specialist, and the remainder of your group will be young people. So on the back is a charter. This is basically your group agreement, right? You guys talk about what's the purpose. You decide your project roles. You're going to fill that out here. Who's taking on director? Who's going to be that education specialist? As a team, you're going to have 15 minutes to plan.
Very nice. All right, so we have cups, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We gave you 15 minutes to plan in the beginning because we're really clear that this summer our young people do not have jobs. They have projects. Project-based learning is not about kind of like the project. It's gonna all be about the process. Sometimes we move too fast, sometimes we move too slow. Sometimes we miss steps. That's all a part of our journey. So as we are beginning to think about what are the skills that our young people need to have, what are the skills that our line staff need to have in this project-based learning, in this planning, tomorrow, when we're really looking at the literal plan, we're really clear that we can pull out the skills together the same way you can pull out the skills with your young people if you have a plan. So as we build our plan, that's what we're going to be looking for. Can we connect the dots from project-based learning to skill acquisition? We're looking for projects that directly connect to workforce, work readiness, skill development.
One of the things we were seeing was that a lot of our young people were not successful in that first job placement, right? And when they come back and they talk to us about that experience, it's never about their inability to do the job. So a lot of times when we think about like the workforce development programs and all these types of things, they spend so much time teaching young people the skills. For us as adults, the hard skill is our ability to do the technical job, right? Do the technical piece. The soft skill is the empathy, the communication, all those other things. For a young person, it's completely opposite, right? That hard skill for them is communication, problem solving, confidence, self-esteem. That's the hard skill for them.
Nice. So we're gonna get a chance to practice some of these skills together. And we're gonna pretend that we're on a deserted island. This is really a team survival guide. Can I get someone to read our scenario who has this so far? Tax.
Your task is to choose the 12 most useful items to help you survive on this deserted island.
You're gonna work with your team to land on your collective top 12 items. So what do you think we decided to move you all through a survival guide? Team building, yep. What kind of skills did we practice on these things?
Negotiation.
Problem solving, listening, negotiation, collaboration.
And in engaging in a process like this, where sometimes we have to hear no, or give up some of the things that might be really important to us, like our luxury items, we're also building skills, right? We're practicing communication, right? Which really brings us to what are the work readiness skills that we want young people to lead these programs with us in the summer.
EYCD is looking for throughout your program, are you building in opportunities for youth voice and choice?
We're going to do a quick attitude check. You'll see at the back of the room a sign that says, youth can do this on their own. Over here it says, adults should do this with input from youth. On this wall over here behind the garbage it says, adults should do this alone. And over here it says, you can do this with active assistance from adults. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a prompt. I'd like you to go stand by that sign that most resonates with how you feel in that moment when I say what I say. Do a budget. Here's the next prompt. Plan a trip.
We thought that the youth can do it with the assistance of adults. We help with the budgeting and everything with them, so therefore they could be able to have a better understanding of being able to do these things.
Realize
that they do this all the time. And they plan trips to the doctor, they plan trips to colleges, they plan trips to the movies, to the mall, without supervision.
Just to throw in there, if a child really wants to do something, they will do all of this without us saying it.
So, who has a friend, right, if you were all going together on a trip somewhere, right? And that person was like, oh my God, I'll plan the trip. Right? And you all in the group shake your head and go, no. Let's be very clear that planning a trip is not necessarily an adult skill. These are all skills, right? And what we want to do as we're working with our young people is to understand that this is where we want them to be. How does this translate to doing this activity with our staff or with our young people?
So not looking at it like we've been doing it for so long, but how can we change for the better? How can we both think of something new?
Back to someone who said that about the skill set, is that we want to get to having them get those skills and leave them feeling confident that, oh yeah, I can actually do this.